Hey, welcome back. Apparently, more than 1/3 of U.S. workers are actively disengaged from their jobs, and it may be their manager's fault. That's according to new research from Gallup. So there's a poll of more than 67,000 employees from across the country, and it found workplace engagement dropped drastically during the pandemic. And part of that is because of, you guessed it, the surge in remote work. But researchers say the solution is not to bring everyone back into the office. It's up to managers to make employees feel connected no matter where they are physically. I want to bring in Patrick Dolan here, employment law attorney. Thanks so much for being here.
Good to be here.
And John Hansen as well. I know you're the host of Your Money Matters on WGN Radio.
That's right.
It's great to have you both here. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I kind of appreciate that they're saying this is all the manager's fault. Patrick, is it lazy employees or bad managers?
Well, I don't want to say it's one or the other, but I think what it is a disconnect. I think we need to focus on training issues for management, and I think the employees have to work with the managers to express what it is that they need in their job. So I think it's both.
Okay, and John, let's talk about what the Gallup poll actually said. It suggests that managers need, quote, to do meaningful conversation every single week with every single direct report. They need to discuss their goals and achievements for at least 15 to 30 minutes. Is this really the solution?
Yes.
Because some employees just want to clock in, they want to do their job and clock out. Do they want to be having these, basically these reviews every 15, 30 minutes every day? What is this?
They may not want every single conversation to be happening, but it's important in the workforce. And whether it's the employer's fault or the employee's fault, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, right? Managers have to get this right. And we are seeing huge spikes in management training from consultants. Somewhere up to 60% more. Because let's not forget, a lot of folks left the workplace during the pandemic. So you have a lot of new managers that are trying to manage this field as well. So it's about balancing it, right? And I think the best boss of all is someone that tells you what they want and then expects you to have it and then you deliver it. It's that simple. And sometimes it gets too complicated.
Well, I think they just need to listen. I think managers, from what I've learned from employees, is they don't listen to them. You know, they don't think they take their job seriously. They don't give them the time they need to focus on their strengths and address their weaknesses. So I think it's a communication thing that employees are very frustrated by, that I think manager training could really and should really address.
Is that the solution, just manager training? Does that actually work? And why are there so many bad not here at NewsNation, but why are there so many bad managers out there?
I think a lot of it is that a lot of managers have never managed this newer generation before, Gen Z, right? Coming out of college in the middle of this pandemic.
Yeah, they hate them. I mean, all the polling data shows that they just can't stand Gen Z.
Imagine you're 18 years old, 19 years old, your entire college experience gets uprooted. The labor market's been so tight, they can literally go to any job they want to. Employees have been the ones in charge the last few years. So the bosses are the ones that have to learn to adjust to it. And they're a different breed. They don't want that. More pay is great, but what Gen Z and younger millennials want, they want companies with values. They want to be treated with flexibility. They want all these other things that is, I think, frankly, new to managers to deal with.
Well, and I think they want to be respected, and I think they want to be heard. And I think, you know, there may be a generational gap there or difference, but the training, listen, managers are, are people that come with all of their issues. And so you need to focus and address what the managers are deficient at. And maybe it is listening. Maybe they're not good listeners. And so I think, that's exactly where training should focus, not necessarily, the employee's side, what can we do to make managers better?
Learning to listen. I like that. We're so short on time, but there's one more topic I really want us to get to. We need to talk about AI in the workplace. And you can't talk about that without talking about ChatGPT. You give it a prompt, you give it a little bit of info, it just spits out all of this information. Researchers finding that the bot sent worker productivity through the roof after they asked thousands of customer support agents to use it. Specifically, though, the least skilled workers among them saw the biggest jump. I mean, John, so overproductive people, perfectionists, are they going to be really annoyed at ChatGPT coming to their office?
They shouldn't be. This is a tool that can completely change the workforce. I've talked to college professors who used to spend 6 hours writing a syllabus that can be done in an hour. It's not the solution. This is not going to replace a bunch of jobs. But someone that has learned ChatGPT is going to keep their job more than someone who doesn't. So everyone, the three of us at this table and everyone out there needs to learn how to use it. Otherwise, your job could be affected.
I think in a broader perspective, AI is here to stay. And so I think once people understand how companies use it and how they can use it in their own job, it will make them more productive and the companies will be happier. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Learn to use it.
Embrace it. Patrick, very last question. How many years until you think the network, a network, just steals my voice and likeness? And
never. It is never going to happen.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Okay,
don't
good.
worry about
Now
it.
that you've said that, I feel great.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.